Just playing a little while I'm cutting.
Yeah, sure.
That's so incredible. I just, you know, you don't hear music like that every day. It's
It's
really
funny because I haven't listened to it for about 10 years.
good.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's interesting to listen to it from a different perspective, you know.
Yeah. Do you think you'd write like that again, or do you think that it would
Well,
be?
this is it's funny because you know, most of the time people say they don't like to listen to what they do,
Yeah,
and I don't like listening to what I do right after I do it,
yeah,
but after a while, I shouldn't say that because I'm going to sound pretentious, but after a while, I
no,
like it.
yeah.
It brings back great memories, and also I realize it's not that bad.
I
Sometimes.
totally understand that. I go through that. I've gone through that for years, and yeah, um, it is like you work on the project a lot, and you're producing, right, kind of self-producing, and so you can't help but analyze it, to some degree, even though you want to be creative, and then, but then years later, it is nice. I've been going through, I've been transferring my VHS tapes to
Wow.
USBs. So I've been watching myself as a young woman, and my first impression was, oh my God, I was a better singer then. That was my first impression. And then I let that go. But it's nice to, it really isn't pretentious. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just what it is. You're
And
admiring this art that was put out.
and also actually what could be in a way more pretentious is to hope for better, you know, like what you listen to is what you've done, and you've done it with a lot of most of the time what we do it with a lot of with the best of ourselves, you know, otherwise we don't do it. So you know, unless somebody forced you to do something, you know, most of the time you do it as well as you can.
Yes.
So you put a lot of energy in it, and so even though your mind might be in some other place 10 years after, it doesn't mean that it's not meaningful. You know,
Yeah.
it's just well, it's at it's like looking at pictures, you know, and uh, I don't know. It's funny. I've no. I listen to it as if it was not me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Although I remember it clearly, and I remember the recording session, and I remember the exact you know concept of the project, and the fact that we worked with John Hollenbeck, who is an amazing composer and was extraordinary partner on that journey for that record. And but yeah, it's good times.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's really interesting. And also, yeah, well, as you said, in the moment, you're doing you're doing your best. And so looking back, I mean, while you were speaking, I was thinking of classic records that last forever. Look at all the Miles
Mhm.
records, and the Coltrane, and they were, they weren't probably thinking about commercialism they weren't probably thinking about anything but the art.
Yeah,
And
I think so too.
and I
If it's the case, you know, I mean, of course you cannot be someone else, you know. But this is, we have to accept that. And once it's done, we go through phases and
Yeah,
our taste evolves and stuff like that. Uh, but it's still, part of us,
yeah.
what we've done. So, I
Well,
mean,
speak.
I never really think about the past,
Yeah,
as far as I never really look behind and say, "Oh, that was great. I loved it." This. I always look forward for the next thing to happen. So, I mean, I guess that's the way most of musicians think. So, even though when you get like like some kind of award or something like that, people say, "Oh, so did it change anything or what?" And so it changes something the night you got it, and then the next day it's history,
back to business. Yeah,
Yeah, and because the desire to make music is stronger than the desire uh, to have some kind of statue, whatever, and
yeah,
which is great,
yeah, yeah,
but it's not the goal, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I have a friend who's a movie composer, a film composer, and she keeps winning awards, but she really, like in our discussions, she barely touches on it because she's always working on the new thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
There's
yeah,
an
it's,
interesting interesting book that's been written on there's in France there's a prize for books that is very prestigious, that's called le Prix Goncourt, which is like almost like the Pulitzer Prize or something like that, And a lot of people who got that, which is a really high point of a writer's career, uh, got trouble to get back
mm,
into working after that
yeah,
because it's much more than winning a Grammy.
yeah,
It's like everybody talks about you, and it's not
forever.
only
Yeah,
music. It's like everybody talks about you all over the place. I mean, mostly in France, but then it puts a lot of pressure on you, and then and also, of course, you have people who are maybe jealous, or people who complain that they didn't get it, or that people who wanted someone else to get it. So anyway, there's a lot of distractions,
yes,
and you start making more money and stuff because you sell more books. And then a lot of people got into that scary zone of like uh, trying to figure out what they're going to do next after being that high, which is it's interesting. I have no real idea about these things, but I thought it was interesting to realize that sometimes it stopped people from doing
yes.
that, you know.
Well, Elizabeth Gilbert is an author of a book called Eat, Pray, and Love, which became a
Oh
movie,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen the
right?
movie. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a huge hit. She's been writing literally every day since she was, a teenager. Every day. That was her commitment to herself. So she wrote a book after that called Big Magic, which to me basically gives you permission to be creative. And she talked about that precise thing that you're talking about. After she won all of that, and there was a big movie, and people were saying, "Oh, how are you going to live up to that?" And so she had, but she was committed. This was a really interesting thing because she was committed to herself every day to write, no matter what. She had already gone through numerous um, processes of writing that she would start writing, she would be excited, and then she would just hit bottom and, you know, think it was crap and, all that. But then she had to write the next day because she
Mm.
had committed, and it would always pull her out. So she went through that process each time she was creating. And so, when she wrote Big Magic, which was really a nice book, that's what happened as well. And, you know, yeah, it was very interesting to read that. I think it was inspirational.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, you have to get back to your craftsman shoes, like
Yeah.
you know, and um, and also sometimes you get recognition for some stuff that you've done that might not be the best things you've done,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know it.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, when the desire to create is stronger than, it's I think it's just like you
Yeah.
keep going and you don't think about it. It's the same thing with when I produce records, which I do, which is my full-time job now,
Yeah.
artistically producing, of course. Sometimes I talk with people and they say, because I did the previous record I did was with someone they really admire, and sometimes people ask me, I mean, how am I going to do something after
Yeah.
that? I mean, interesting to you after you've worked with this guy, and honestly, I never think about that. It's like sometimes you do record with very famous people, and it's most of the time it's great,
Yeah.
but it's not because uh, it's not always because people are famous that the process is more interesting, So what excites me is what I can bring to the table, and and every time I start something new, it's the most uh, challenging and exciting thing I've that I can think about, I'm not saying that I'm not looking back to the thing I did like a week before or whatever, and I think that's a good way to be happy too,
I think so too. Yeah, you're always excited. You're in love with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. I want to talk about that cut. I loved that cut. For me, that kind of writing, it it gets inside me, and it's my ears, my body, my heart. It's just I just love it, and I'm curious. I know it was kind of a tribute to Bob Brookmeyer.
Yeah.
So, did you and John write that? Did you write it?
No, it's so the whole process of that record is it's when I was running this band called the French National Jazz Orchestra.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So every time there's a new term, the orchestra changes.
Okay.
So it's not like an orchestra that stays the same and the director changes.
Yeah.
It's every time it's someone new, the musician you pick the musicians you want. So I decided to put together a band of younger people uh, that I did not know. So I think I auditioned like 400 people, 400 musicians.
Yeah.
And then I picked, people that I thought that were really interesting, and I mixed people who were coming from different backgrounds, which means that like there are some people who have a very strong attachment to like the roots of jazz, some other people who have played contemporary music, some people who have great knowledge of electronic music, or some people who are more attracted by pop stuff. So I kind of fantasized. family made of uh, different different characters and have these people together for Thanksgiving, you know.
Yeah.
And so my job with that orchestra was to also, of course, conceive every project and but also to make that non-functional thing in the first place function, you know.
Yeah.
So and it did. It was very interesting because uh, I mean they all so this was a 10 pieces band what you've heard and all of them played different instruments. I mean meaning that they're all
They play multiple.
multi-instrumentalists. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And and the thing also is because they were young, I knew that they would be open to suggestions and also that they would grow along the way. So I did two terms and which is 6 years, and I kept the same band for 6 years. So that's a band that works, I would say like 70 days a year, more or less, maybe a little more. So that's a lot of be together, you know, we did a lot of records and we did a lot of touring and stuff. So for that project, I I called up John Hollenbeck, who is a drummer and arranger, and who was actually in Buck Brookmeyer's band as a drummer,
Oh,
and so he was very close to him. And so, and the idea of that record was to it's called Shut Up and Dance,
yeah.
the record, and then the idea behind that record was like mainly two things. The first one, which is related to the dance, was to have uh, every single member of the band uh, take care of the rhythm aspect of the band. So not like, okay, the engine of the band is the rhythm section and the colors are the horns or woodwinds or whatever. But like everybody was like responsible for that, which is the case in all the great bands. But so like most of the pieces were designed for that, so that um, it was not one guy who was responsible for keeping time, and
Yeah.
so all the rhythms were really intricate. And so the first thing was that. The second thing was like to write small concertos for each member of the band. So before doing this, I had John coming to Paris and he met all the band members and he took some time to improvise with them one by one. And then I talked also to him about each of them, about what they can do or cannot, or what they're interested in or not, you know, whatever. And also, so every piece, there are 10 pieces. Every piece was like really specially designed for one musician. And the other leading thought behind that record was how can we have a band that keeps playing while the soloist is soloing, which means like I was thinking about like my classical music background, you know, when you have you know, a violin concerto or whatever, you know, when the violins comes in, you know, the 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 band keeps playing, the orchestra keeps playing, and you have to write music so that besides the fact that the violin is a tiny instrument and you have to hear it, you know, you can write music that works with everyone playing at the same time, and which is something that I always thought about listening to big band music. because like a lot of time there's a very interesting writing material, and then there are like solos, and most of the time solos are just like with the rhythm section,
Yeah.
and sometimes some background horns at some point, you know, something like that. So I thought we could give it a try to have a more interactive thing between the whole band and the soloist, which means that sometimes the soloist has to be in a conversation with the band, and sometimes he can be trapped by the band too. So he has to find his way in between the information that's given by the band and stuff like that. So that's basically the whole uh, thought about behind that project. So
Yeah. It's just amazingly great. I
thank
just,
you. Thank you
wow, I
so
just love it. I'm a big fan apparently because
much.
I wrote to you about this record, The Last Crooners, which is
Yeah.
probably older, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would say the same. This record that you just showed,
Yeah.
it's this is a no rehearsal record. This is just
Oh,
like
uh,
it's just I wanted to make a like a jazzier record than
yeah.
usually, and so I it's called The Lost Crooners because I transcribed the music from
Wow.
you know a version by crooners,
Yeah.
and also the guitar player who plays on that record is he's from Brazil,
Uh-huh.
and I really admire
Oh,
him.
yeah.
He's
He lives in Paris, right?
yeah, he lives in Paris,
Yes.
and
Uh-huh.
so I played many times with him. I produced one of his record. I was playing in his band before, and I love when he plays music that he has to sight read because I don't know, there's something going on when he does that.
Yeah.
So so that record was just like I bring the music and then we do two, three takes and then we move on. That was a very simple way
Yeah.
of thinking about the
Yeah,
music.
and it's songs. I mean, I fall in love too easily. I'll be seeing you, the end of a love affair, that kind of stuff. Yeah, um, it's it's just beautiful. It's great. And so yeah, so that was put out a long time ago. But anyway, so so you're producing a lot now. So I'm guessing that means basically you're producing for others,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And are you doing your own projects now too?
No, not actually. I mean, I'm doing some projects that are. I mean, I'm not a band leader
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
I used to, but I don't really have the need to do that anymore. I don't want to go through. It's not because of that, but I'm really happy I don't have to go through trying to get gigs and stuff like that because I think I would be
Yeah.
really bad at
It gets
that.
old, you know.
Yeah. So, but you know, sometimes I do projects that I conceive, and I mean, most of the time I have people calling me and say, "Okay, I want to do a record with you. Can you produce it?" And then most of the time, they come with like some people come with ideas. Some people have precise ideas of what they want. But like right now, like most of the people, even though some people, you know, have a pretty good recording career behind them, but they sometimes they come to me and they say, you know, what would you suggest I should do for my next record? So then we start talking and of course, if I don't know their music very well, I listen to everything they've done, and I try to figure out what they could do that they haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Also, uh, what what kind of project could bring uh, more curiosity coming from the people from outside. Like because every time you do a new record, it has to be some kind of surprise to the people. Otherwise, there's no point of putting records out. I mean, of course, you can do 30 records with the same quartet, if you want to, but then, it's obvious that if you do this, uh, people's attention is going to slow down, most of the time. I mean, some people did, like Keith Jarrett did 30 records with the same trio, but it was years ago. And, Brad Meldau did that, but he also does a lot of different projects. But it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
And so I try to think about, like what, almost like a tailor who sees someone coming to his place and try to find the right suit for them,
Yeah.
And so coming back to your question, sometimes I have an idea and I put together, or sometimes people call me like from like, you know, like a festival and they have like how do you call that commission.
Yes.
So I love that. Most of the time I'm like really free to propose new things. So I was asked to do something on David Bowie's music. Uh, so I did 4 projects on that.
Hmm.
Uh, and the main, I mean, I did one project with a horn ensemble, another one with a French group, another one with I had the musicians from Bowie's last record to come to France, and we worked together on a project which was that band was Donny McCaslin, Tim Lefebvre,
Really?
Mark Juliana,
Uh-huh.
and what's his name? A keyboard player, great keyboard player. His name will come back. And also I did uh, a symphonic version of Bowie's songs,
Hmm.
which was actually played 2 days ago in Cannes, like where they have the
Yes.
film festival. We
Uh-huh.
played in that venue with so it was a symphonic orchestra and some singers and some instrumentalists, and it's all Bowie songs but totally rearranged, no
Yeah.
rhythm section,
Yeah.
and it was a really hard work that we did put on that, but
Wow.
and so every song is like a small orchestral suite
Yeah.
that has the song, but also has, you know, doors that open that are like instrumental between like the verse and the chorus or whatever, or like so every song is a little adventure, and the idea was to pay tribute not only to Bowie but to his creative um energy, like the
Yeah.
way he always stayed on, tried different things and stuff. So sometimes I do things like that, when I'm asked to.
That's that sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Is there a
yeah.
recording of any of that?
No, I thought about, actually I thought about doing a record about that, but I'm still not really sure about what is possible to do, like on a legal
Yeah,
about the legal aspect. So I
yeah,
talked with the Bowie people actually about that, but I don't exactly know how this thing works, so I have to get some help on that. But
yeah.
it might be a record one of these days. But
Sounds,
it's a very huge a record like that is not something you can do easily because it costs a lot of money. So you have to
yeah,
have a lot of different partners and stuff for that.
yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, sometimes I do stuff on my uh, that I uh, that I conceive, but most of the time I try to really help artists to grow and but it's funny for me. It's the same thing. I have um I have no frustration of not having my name on the cover of the record because like the way I do music when I produce records is fulfilling as fulfilling as if I was playing the bass or as if my name was on the cover. For me, it's the same thing. I don't really need to be in the front. That's why I'm a bass player, actually. But I don't really, I mean, I love, when people like what I do, of course,
Yeah,
but I don't have that need to be, even on a stage. I don't really, I mean, if you ask me to choose between the stage and the studio,
yeah.
I go for the studio right away.
Huh,
Yeah, because for me, studio is like no distraction, uh, no travel time,
yeah.
no sound check, no stage fright, no
Worrying
bad.
about tickets sold.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
Yeah,
it sounds kind of stupid, but it's I love being in the studio. I love like doing things that stay, like almost like you would write a book, like you write 10 pages a day and then after a year you have a book, and
yeah.
maybe not 10 a day, that's a lot, but so that's the way I look at music now,
Yeah.
but I mean, I loved playing and
Uh-huh.
I still do, but this is not my main concern right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
it's been
so
like that for about
interesting.
10
Yeah.
years.
It's pretty that's pretty cool. You know, I don't know if it's because I'm growing older or because I've been in this business since I was five, But so in the last year, I guess, I felt like I was kind of tired of doing kind of the same type of gig, So and I love to sing, and I mean, I do sing still. I have a steady gig every week and so on. But um, I didn't really feel like putting all my efforts into come see Cathy Segal-Garcia sing jazz. It's like, really? We've done that, and anyway. So I, I don't know where it came from, but I decided to create kind of I guess you could call it almost a theater piece. I mean,
Yeah.
it has jazz. I've brought in a few friends of mine who are very kind of spiritually connected people, and they're singers, and we created this show with a theme of basically mankind, like bringing mankind together, And so we created this show with music, dance, spoken word, art, audience participation. And we're going to put it on in a nice, intimate venue uh, and with a trio and a really good percussionist who plays a lot of different percussion. And I'm really looking forward to this because it's a piece that really means a lot,
Yeah.
and it involves these different arts and it involves the audience more than the usual, they're sitting there and listening to me sing, you know. So, yeah, so, and it feels great, but I mean, I forget why I started talking about that. I guess
It's
just to, you know, because just moving on, doing something new, I guess. I was
yeah,
on a roll for in the studio for a long time. I had a supporter who kept wanting to make records with me, so I did that. And I had this feeling like I need to keep going because this, you know, this will only happen now, and I'm going to do it. So I went through that, and um, yeah, the process of it is so personal and interesting. And I know, as you say, you're enjoying the studio, and I can understand why because it's a real hands-on, focused creation. So
yeah. But I mean, I really get that um, everyone is so different when it comes to music, which is what makes music so interesting too, like because people around me, like, I produce record or have friends for people who are on the road 250 days a year and love it I don't feel good when they're not playing, so I think everyone is different in that respect. And also, as far as I'm concerned, I can go to a gig in a very small place, listen to some friends playing, and I love it. And I have no need for anything else than what's going on at that time. It's just like for me, uh, what my body wants is different from that. It's just, I think it's almost like a physical thing, It's like people are designed to play to run short distance. People are designed to run a longer distance. And everyone is different, and I think it's the reason why probably we play different instruments and we have different histories in music and stuff, and uh, and also maybe our goal changes along the way too. Like
yeah,
uh, I don't know, like I guess like when I was very young, I wanted to be like one of the best bass players. I don't even remember, but I guess so. And but I think I first of all I knew that I was not going to be the bass player uh, pretty early. And also I the way I was looking at the bass was not from that perspective. It was from like making a band sound good, and uh, which can be also the case for amazing bass players, of course. But so I think, like along the way, you see what fits you,
yeah,
like you see that something makes you happy and some things don't make you happy. Uh, like years ago, I was especially on with the electric bass, I was doing a lot of touring with like pop acts and stuff like that, which was like really nice. I toured with very interesting people and all around the world and stuff like that. So that was great experience. But honestly, I pretty quickly I realized that I was the one playing the bass, but it could be anyone else. I mean, more or less. And also I realized that since it was not jazz, the things that I was playing every night was the same.
yeah.
And if I wanted to change too many things,
They didn't like it.
it was not, I
Yeah,
mean, it was not the point,
Yeah.
and I totally get that. But so at some point, even though the money was good and it was fun and stuff, I said, this is not really for me. I need to be more on the creative side, trying to come up with new things every night, or but some people do this, like touring with people and do this with so much talent and so much commitment that I'm not saying that it's not good to do that, but I don't think I would have that commitment
Yeah.
for like 30 years to do this. I would get tired, But again, it's different with everyone. So
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember who, but one of the people I interviewed had a gig that it was like a big pop gig that had been around a long time, and um, some band that everybody knew, used to know,
yeah,
And so he was playing the same music, and the solos were the same. I mean, wow. For me, that would just kill me. But he loved it, and what he loved about it was the effect that it had on the audience.
yeah,
The audience would sing with them, and I know I mean, when I go see Brazilian people, I'm always amazed. There's young people and old people standing up in the audience singing with, you
yeah.
know, Javon or somebody. And that is a really effective, wonderful thing. My son-in-law just was telling me he and his wife went to see a group called Oasis,
Yeah.
which, yeah, I didn't know of them, but he said, they were like the Beatles, but,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they are.
later.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he said he's probably like 50-ish or maybe a little older. Anyway, his wife, my stepdaughter, is a little younger. Everybody, including his wife, around him was crying.
Yeah, yeah.
And he wasn't. I mean, he said when he went to see the Prince movie, he was crying.
Yeah.
But so I mean, that's an incredible effect. That's life
Yeah, yeah,
changing. I mean,
yeah,
people who
yeah.
left there, they were moved. They had, barriers in their heart that were broken open, and so that's powerful. It means
Yeah, it
something.
is.
It's great, and as you say, it's just who are we personally, and what is our true truth? What can we really bring and feel good about and make something special of?
But it's funny because like talking about that, most of the time when I produce a new record, I have as I said, I have long talks with the artist,
Yeah.
and uh, and most of the time, uh, I mean, the first questions I ask are like, so okay, you want to make a record, so why? I mean, what are you expecting from that record? Is it? I mean, do you want to do like a masterpiece no matter what, and if you don't have gigs, you don't give a shit, or
Right.
do you want to bring more attention to you and you want to have more gigs, like because it's a different. I mean, if you do something, you have to know why, and also sometimes I ask, I mean, most of the time I ask, okay, so then if you close your eyes right now, you have all the money you want, all the time you want, what record are you gonna do?
Mm.
And uh, sometimes people don't know, which I totally understand, like because sometimes uh, you're a great musician, you're a great composer, but sometimes you don't exactly know what you want to do next, and uh, and you talked about Miles Davis like not so long ago, and he was probably one of the most uh, producer-oriented musician that jazz had. I think, he was really, for me, he's one of the best producers ever.
Mm.
Although he wasn't really the producer of his own records, but but he, even though he had that talent, he had producers with him, like
Yeah.
Tio Macero and people like that. So again, if you go to a football game, you have the trainer and you have the players, and the trainer could not be a player, and the player could not be a trainer, and I mean, coach, trainer is the
Oh,
same thing.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, okay. And so it just depends on where you're standing on the field, and for me, that's the main difference. That's if you're further away and don't spend 8 hours a day practicing your instruments, and if you listen to music, if you read books, if you go to the movies, if you talk with people, if you try to do uh, your homework as someone who's supposed to be a little more on the thinking side, then you can help people who don't have time to do that to 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 bring them to another place because they don't have time to do that. They have to practice every day for a long time, and then they have to they want to write music, and they go to gigs and stuff. So it's a team effort. It's for me that's a team effort.
Excuse me, I have to say, the way you're speaking, it sounds like you're a person with very little judgment, in the negative,
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of thing. Do you think, is that true?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, I think so. I think I have I mean, when I have judgment, it's a bad sign. It's most of the time if I had that feeling of uh, having to judge something, it's probably because I'm not going to do it.
yeah,
Uh, if I have that feeling, but no, I'm not. Sometimes, when you do, when you make records, you never know how it's gonna go. So sometimes you have like you know different musicians with different backgrounds, with different histories, and with different souls, and sometimes with different neuroses too. And so you have to deal with all this. And
yeah,
sometimes you have also people who are very fast at coming up with solutions, and you have slower people too. And so every time, I mean, if you're uh, a judge, so you're gonna give a bad grade to the slow one. But if you're not the judge, you have to find solutions to make the whole thing work. So if you start judging the person who has trouble to do the task, you're sure that you're not going to be able to do it. So you have to give your confidence to that person even more than the other people. And also you have to, it's different every time, but you have to find a way of talking to the person who is maybe a little insecure, uh, without talking directly to that person, but talking to everyone. And then
yeah,
that person gets the message, but it's not like
yeah,
directed, you
yeah,
know. Uh, so I mean, if you want to do a team thing, you cannot judge people. You have to bring out the best of them. And maybe you not gonna go on vacations with them, but when you do music,
yeah,
for me, it's the thing that uh, everybody has to agree on the musical thing. You have to make music at a certain level so that people uh, go there no matter
yeah,
what, you
yeah,
know. And even like sometimes you have to deal with artists who have big egos and stuff like that, which is you know uh, common. But when it's the case, if you show them that the music can be better if they do this versus this, then the ego kind of like slides
Steps
down a little
aside.
bit, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
I mean, it's not magical, but sometimes it works, you know, and
Yeah,
I mean most of the time it works actually, you know.
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, yeah, underneath whatever, we all have baggage, right? We all have layers of baggage and it affects us different ways. But underneath, there's the human experience and awareness. And, um, you know, I, I find that a lot with students as well, Oh my gosh, they're just, yeah, it's kind of fascinating. I feel like I I'm going in that door, what their viewpoint is, and then I can communicate through the front door um, according to that. But
Mm.
it sounds like you do that with your musicians as well.
And also one thing is that I've really uh, realized more and more is that the key also to making great music is, I mean, you know, as a producer, if you listen really hard to the music gets better because
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that.
no, because like
Love that.
musicians are very sensitive to that, you know, like the way you listen to the music, how
Yes,
intensely you listen to the music. And you can feel that on the bandstand too. You know, you have like
absolutely.
a group of five people, and you have like one one people among these guys who is a great listener,
Yeah,
and it makes a whole it makes it's totally
totally.
different, you know.
Yeah, totally.
And so as a producer, I was listening to an interview of this pop producer called Joe Henry. Have you heard of him?
Same sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a great producer, and he was saying, you know, he was saying like most of my job is listening
Hmm.
and not talking that much, you know, and when people see that you're really deeply listening, they make better music, you know, and so I mean, you have to show them that kind of respect and then that support, you know, to make them better musicians. Another guy who is like that is Rick Rubin. You see who he is? The guy
Yeah.
with the big beard.
Yes, yes, yes.
He's like a pop and hip hop producer, and every time he talks about producing, he doesn't play any instrument. He doesn't know how to uh, do anything with a mixing board. He doesn't
Uh-huh.
know. He has no skills besides being like a music lover and a great human
Yeah,
being, you know.
yeah,
And he produced more records than most of the producers, you know. So which means that the vision he has comes from the love of music and
sure.
also somehow the love of people doing music, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, which again is something that doesn't have to last, but when you're in the studio, you have to have that kind of love, you know. And
yeah,
it's not fake. It's just true. It's just I think there's a mix between the love of music and the love for the people, you know, like it's kind of crazy and also I'm sure you've experienced that, but like sometimes you do music with people on stage and it's like it's so deep and so profound. And then you're on the road, and when you talk with them, it's not. that interesting, you know.
Right?
So, which means that the music is so powerful that it can make people connect on certain level,
Yeah,
and then maybe they don't have much to share in real life, which
yeah,
is fine. I mean, we don't need to be in love with everyone anyway. We don't have space for that. But that connection, it's the same thing as I think it's the same thing. I always wonder about jazz musicians who are, even rock musicians who are like really fucked up on drugs, and could play so well, you
yeah,
know, and before the show they cannot do anything. After the show they cannot do anything, but when they play, it's magical. Like Chet Baker was like that.
Billie
Uh,
Holiday was like that too.
yeah,
Yeah,
and there's something there's something to how can I say that? There's something to learn about that because it means that like when it comes to music, there's something that goes on that leaves all the bad stuff outside for about 2 hours,
yeah,
The even when you're sick, that happened to me a few times. Like I remember one gig I had like really strong fever. I really thought I couldn't play. I could not play, and I had to do that show because I couldn't get a sub. It was too late, and after the gig, it was over. I wasn't sick anymore. It's crazy. I mean, it was so weird. I was cured,
yeah,
and it's probably because I've like also sweating and
yeah,
be like really focused for 2 hours, but the thing is like it totally disappeared. And so that I think like people who were like really taking heroin and stuff like that, like it's so strong that when they play, there's something that brings them back to life,
yeah.
for 2 hours, and then they go back to hell, because when you think about it, it's crazy that so many people took so much drugs and could do great music. Uh, it's crazy, and there must be some kind of mystery there, I think.
Well, and of course, those, uh, I'm sure a lot of those people, I mean, ha, a lot of those people who took drugs thought that the drugs helped to connect them to that
Yeah,
power, which of course we know that's not necessarily true, I mean,
yeah,
maybe it helped, maybe it didn't, they would have been that way anyway. But yeah, that's really, yeah, it's amazing. But on a funny kind of connected note, so I used to run a jam session for 16 years. And one thing I saw that intrigued me so much was if, let's just say, like not such a great singer would get up, but they were listening to the band, you know, and the band, no matter who they were, sounded really good.
hmm
And if a singer got up and the singer was fabulous but was not listening to the band, they were all about themselves, the band did not sound good.
yeah, that's right.
And I just thought that was so interesting.
Yeah,
But I guess when you're listening, you're in that same aesthetic universe, right? That the creators are creating in. So you're tied in, and um, I feel very connected to that image and um, that understanding. That's something that I've thought about for many years and worked on and try and lead my students to it as well. Um, it's it's really and also I just think the value of that is so huge. You
yeah,
know, it just overflows into humanity.
But if you listen to some of the pop legends,
Yeah,
most of them, I mean, a lot of them were not designed to be singers in the first place. Like
yeah,
some of them have, if you listen to them sing, you would say, okay, pick another job. But
well,
like,
Dylan
yeah,
is
but the
one.
thing, who?
Dylan, Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I was thinking about him,
Yeah,
but the thing is like the guy has so much to say that he has to find a way to say it.
yeah,
So then
yeah,
his expression becomes like so strong because he has something important to say. It's the same thing that you said about the singer who is listening and the singer who is not listening.
yeah,
So and then some great singers don't even think about the words they sing because they get carried away by the command they have of their instruments and stuff like that. So of
yeah,
course you have to find a balance between all these things, but it's interesting to see that a guy like Bob Dylan keeps fascinating people, or Leonard Cohen, who has like
yeah. God.
half an octave.
Yeah,
But it's very interesting because like you can say a lot if you have something to say.
yes,
And then you'll find the right tool for that. And also, if you listen to Dylan, he's not such a bad singer, actually. Yeah, if you really listen to what he does, he's got a very strong groove. He
yeah,
knows about the music and stuff. He just happens to have an annoying voice in the
yeah.
first place, which became attractive. I mean, some people
Yeah.
still can't stand it, uh, but it's interesting, because it's not it's not all about the craft. It's
Yeah,
it's it's about something else.
it
So
is about something else.
yeah,
Over the years, especially the last bunch of years, so I have this chronic cough, and it affected my voice. And for a while, I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't sing anymore, but I was still being supported by this man making records, and I thought, I can't give this up. I have to. It's happening now. I have to keep doing it. And so I worked on it, and there were many points of view that I grasped, like who were some of my favorite singers? Sting, Peter Gabriel. I mean, not even talking about jazz, but these people who really had something to say and they gave it their all.
Mm,
And it's ideas like that, listening to singers and experiencing that, it's really, like you said, it's about what you have to say, you know.
yeah,
And that's really what it is. It's not, it's really, I mean, it's great if it's incredible. Like Cecile McLaurin-Salvant is one of my favorite singers. She
yeah,
has everything. She has an incredible instrument, and her presence is so present, and her abilities are incredible. And I mean, even to how she dresses, she doesn't flaunt her body. And, it's just the whole thing is so admirable for me. And, and it moves me. It's really a quality, it's like a pearl sitting there.
yeah,
And
and and sh
so,
and she has guts too, because like what she does career-wise is very brave. Because she every time, have you listened to her new record?
not her brand new record, no.
Yeah, because it's very interesting. It's very different from what she's done so far,
Huh,
and I think she really goes for what she wants to do,
yeah,
and she's not like thinking too much about what people.
sales and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, and which is when you have that talent.
yeah,
I think that's you can really afford that, when you're that good, like and also I think when it goes to if you want to do music for like everyone,
Mm-hmm.
it's another story. But we don't do that. We do music for a few people actually. I mean, even if something's successful, it's still a few people. Cécile McLaurin, if you go on the streets, you ask people about her, that nobody knows about her. That's because that's for us, that would be a big star, but like for the main people, they don't even know who it is.
Yes.
And so I think when you realize that you're working in a very tiny department, that it's very unfortunately is very small, then the best you can do is be great, you know, and be sincere and be the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Because if you think too much about what is going to please people,
Yeah.
first of all, you might be wrong because you might not know, you know.
It's so true.
And 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 so if you're wrong, you have like a double ticket, because you making shitty music because you want to please the people, but you don't please people, so you get bored on both sides.
Yeah.
And I think, when you really have something to say, uh, you have to say it, and people are going to relate to that. And what I'm saying sounds a little, childish, but I really see that every day, like people who really dig deep into their talents and have the guts to do that. They find an audience, even
Yeah.
if it's small, but they find an audience. But if you think you have to go this way because of that, and that way because of that, and that way because of that, you're gonna lose everyone, and I mean, that's the way I look at it. Like Johnny Mitchell is a great example of that. She did what she wanted to do during her whole career.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Well, I mean, she's a genius, of course, but
Yeah.
it helps. But I mean, she was a big star back in the days, but I don't think she sells. I mean, I don't think she sold that many records afterwards, but she
Mm.
stayed um, faithful to her, path, and she made a work, it's really like something that nobody's going to forget about. And
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. Um, is there anything that we could listen to that is a little more current? Do you have something
sure,
on there?
I have to
Which
look. I never and something that I produce, for example.
yes, whatever. That would
Uh,
be great. Tell me where to look and I will go.
yeah, let me see.
But I love that. I have to save that Bob Walk. Oh, God, that I got to listen to that again and again. That was great.
I'm looking at I have a Instagram page where I have all the records I make, so that I can remember what I did. Um, Maybe you can try that. Can you see it?
Uh, yes. Uh, it's you.
It's
Uh,
something I produced.
okay, Yvinek, the producer, under that. Is this on YouTube or Spotify? Or?
Yeah, this is on Spotify, that's for sure.
Okay. Spotify lately has been go kind of under the gun a little bit because I don't know if you've seen any of these things. You probably don't have time to look at these things, but um, they changed their agreements, their artist agreements, and basically, in a nutshell, they're giving themselves the right to totally take your stuff and do anything they want.
Yeah,
And
I've heard
people are
about that.
kind of
Yeah.
going, they're not super happy about it. And then I saw another guy, and he said, basically, he said, they've always been doing that, and this is almost no different. And YouTube does it too. So I don't know. So anyway, I'm looking under you. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Yvinek?
Yvinek.
E
Yvinek.
Okay. Yvinek. Um. Uh. Hmm.
But you can, I mean, you can go to, let me see.
Here we go. Daniel. But the producer, that one didn't come up.
Oh
But
no,
maybe I.
this was Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
No,
Oh
I
no
was
no
on
no.
Spotify.
Oh no no. Forget about Spotify as far as I'm concerned because it's a mess.
Yeah.
Uh, you can type like you can type this guy.
And is it Baptiste
Right.
Herbin? Let's see. Well, would that be on Spotify or because I have him on YouTube, but there's a lot of
You can
live.
the record's called Django.
Oh yeah, Django. Django. Ah, I got it. Okay. So
Drinking warm water before bed improves.
Don't forget about that.
I don't want to pay for the ad free anymore. It's so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on actually the song Django.
Yeah.
Uh, is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you produced this?
Yeah. So this guy is I think this is his 10th record, I think. And he came to me, uh, he didn't really know, he wanted to do a trio record with bass, upright bass and drums.
Yeah.
And then I suggested Django, and then we worked together on he transcribed some solos by Django Reinhardt, and I mean you'll hear it, and it's just
And
he,
he's a sax player, right?
yeah, he's sax player, alto sax, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Anyway, this is cool. beautiful. You know, that is such a beautiful song. It's so simple and beautiful. And wow,
Do you know that song?
yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, it's one of those songs that just plucks your heart, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's very simple, isn't it? It's just beautiful. You you uh, gave me a link to where this is, or
No, no, no.
is this?
I sent you a link of some of the recent stuff I've produced so that you can
Oh,
look if you want.
okay.
But that can be later during
Yeah, I'm going to
during.
share that as well on our discussion. I know you weren't really planning on 2 hours, so whenever you have to go, just let
I
me know.
think I should go in about 10 minutes, I would
Okay,
say, because
sure.
my son is cooking for me right now, so I don't want to disappoint him.
Ah, the French eating in the evening.
I know, I know.
Oh God, we Americans don't do that. No, I'm kidding. Oh my God. Um, you know, we had our first interview in 2022.
Wow, 2022?
Yeah.
God, that doesn't seem that far away. It's funny. Yeah.
It's kind of, it seems a little impossible, but I mean, this particular day is 640
Wow.
interviews. Yeah.
So you've been doing it like every.
Well, at the beginning of the pandemic is when I started, and at that time, I did 6 days a week for 9 months.
Wow.
And because, there was nothing else to do, and I
Yeah.
felt like people needed to connect and then after that, I went down to 3 days a week. And then for a while, I actually just didn't do it, but I put up the archives.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, the last half a year or something, I've been doing at least one time a week, um, or sometimes like this week, 2 times a week. And it feels comfortable, I mean, that's what I go by. Do I want to do it? Or maybe I meet somebody and I'm like, oh, yeah, I really want to interview them. That'd be cool. So I've been doing that. And Yeah, it's it's so much fun. And then sometimes, like yourself, I'll do another interview because I enjoyed it so much and I
Yeah,
want
me
to
too,
find
me
out what
too.
they're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
I mean, I feel very grateful to you for spending this time. I'm sure you're
Thanks to you.
super
Thank you.
busy, and
Yeah.
but I love your point of view. I love that you're successful at what you do, and you have a beautiful point of view. And that's my goal is to share that kind of thing with people.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people they're grateful for that. They get it.
Mm.
People tell me that a lot. So I'm glad to do it.
It's funny during the pandemic, I opened like an Instagram page
Yeah.
where I did like because I uh, I have a lot of records. I don't know if I told you that last time, but I have like I don't know exactly how many, but I have like close to like 60,000 records or something.
Oh, wow. You're more than my husband. My husband is about 20,000.
Oh, I think you told me that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Wow.
So I always loved to share the music I listen to.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, I started like an Instagram account and I was doing like one review a day of a record that I like in English, which was a good way of making me practice English. And so I did 1,000 of them, and then I stopped because it was too much. But
1,000.
yeah,
Oh my God. Did you do one a day or did you do
yeah,
more?
one a day, one a day, every
Oh
day.
my God, Daniel. That's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
I'll send you the link if you want. And I've stopped,
2000 took, oh, you don't think 3 years?
but it was great because I had like I had a lot of feedback from a lot of people because I did that just like for fun, you know. I mean, just to share some music,
Yeah,
and I'll send it to you. And but the thing is, like, it's interesting because like when people see that you do this without any other purpose than sharing stuff,
yeah,
they which is the same for you, I guess, but they they get attached to it, you know, because they know it's just about sharing ideas on music and stuff like that, you know, and
yeah.
oh yeah, it's called the music whistleblower. So I, if you listen, if you check the maybe the
Cool.
last 5 or 6 posts are not uh records, but all the rest is oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh man,
it's
that's
crazy.
incredible. I love this. This is so cool. That's incredible. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know you did it. I didn't, I hadn't, we hadn't talked about this exact thing. This is amazing. Yeah.
So the one you're on right now,
Fantastic.
the one you're on is my productions,
Yeah.
and the one that's called the music whistleblower blower or something like that.
Okay.
It's the record reviews. Yeah.
That's this one.
Uh,
Okay. That's this one. Yeah. Life
yeah,
of
yeah.
Brian. Okay.
Yeah. No, you know why I
Yeah,
posted
this
that?
is great.
Nobody understood, but I
Yeah.
posted the life of Brian when Brian Wilson died,
Yeah.
but nobody got it.
Oh.
Yeah, so these are like all record reviews. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, this is great. I'm gonna I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna take
Yeah.
the time and look at this. It's great. Well, thank you for being on, and it's really nice to connect again.
Yeah, really
And
nice.
I'm a very large fan of yours.
Thanks a lot, and
So,
thanks for being so
how do I keep up on what you're doing? Is it listed on your website,
I
or
don't have any
how do
websites.
you
I don't have
do
website,
you
but
kind
but
of
but you can, I mean, if you look at this the Instagram page called the producer, Yvinek the producer,
yes.
then
Hmm.
you'll see, I mean, I post things when they come out. So like I have like a lot of records that I've done that are not on it yet because they're not out. They will come out in maybe one
Yeah.
month or 2 or 3. But
Right.
you'll see most of the stuff that I've been doing lately. And you can also drop
Okay.
it and
Good.
I'll let you
By
know.
the way, okay. All right. By the way, I saw Tim Lefevre. I never pronounce his name right. Play the other night with John Beasley. You probably know John Beasley.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know him personally, but I know what he does. Yeah, yeah. Tim lives
Yeah.
around here. I think he lives outside of LA,
Oh,
but he's in LA a lot. Yeah. He's a great bass
yeah.
player.
I hadn't seen him for years. Wonderful. They were doing a tribute to
Oh, Zawinul?
Tony Williams,
Oh, wow.
and
Great.
no, Tony Williams. Yeah, and I guess lots of Tony Williams tunes and arrangements. So it was wonderful. They had a great drummer who I was not familiar with, which is unusual in LA, but very, yeah, it was a good pick for a Tony Williams project, you know, really musical and not, I mean, kind of subtle and really nice, you know, it was great.
You remember the drummer's name?
It was something like Doug Jones or something like that. Very simple, a simple name. But that may not be it. I'd have to go look
Yeah, yeah.
I'll ask John about it. Yeah,
Okay.
he was very nice. But Tim was like, wow, Tim. I don't think I'd seen him, I don't know, for 30 or 40 years or something, you know. So, because he used to play in LA a lot in the old days, you know.
Okay,
But
okay.
anyway, well, thank you, Daniel. I hope you have a
Thanks to you.
delicious dinner.
Yeah, yeah, my son is a good cook, so it should be fun. Okay, so let's talk soon. Bye bye. Thanks a lot
Okay,
to you.
thank you, Daniel.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.